The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello everyone. Today, as you can see by our image that was put up, we are comparing a Redman to a red man.
Yes. Oh, yes. The reddest of men. Red like the color of blood.
God damn it, man! You didn't start it! You didn't start it! No! How dare you!
I tried so hard and got so far.
Okay, we're gonna start over. We're just gonna keep this going.
Oh.
We're just gonna keep going.
You want me to start the video over?
No, I'm just gonna start putting at the end.
Oh.
You're gonna put off the breaks at the end? That's fair.
Alright, clap sync again.
Wait. No. I need to... Get it out of your system. Get it all out of your system first.
I was trying to come up with something to actually say.
You just fell out of your freaking seat.
You weren't ready.
You were so unprepared for that.
Censor yourself. Censor.
I'm the... First of all, don't ever make that noise again. I'm the literal worst.
But that's the noise that Redman makes when he's kicking
No,
these
he
monsters.
doesn't. He makes no fucking noises.
He does.
I know.
Screaming internally.
He's the silent murderer.
Silent killer.
Okay.
I was trying to come up with a line about... I was trying to come up with some bullshit line of... And I really appreciate the show has named it after my favorite color.
I knew this was going to be...
Get it out! Just get it out! You gotta just get it out!
I'm happy we're doing this now.
Don't stifle it, because then you just laugh.
Okay. Like Redman.
Did you say black red?
That too.
Oh.
It's the one and only R.E.D.
Clap sync, motherfuckers.
I'm sorry! I blame you! That was your fault! That was your fault! I was ready! Okay. Alright, bring it back.
So much in my life I just didn't notice.
You sure this didn't... No, this should be a separate video, because remember, we're going to walk away.
Yeah, we're just going to make this a whole separate video.
Because we're going to walk away and just leave empty desk for 40 minutes. Oh, God. Ready?
Okay. How did it go from this way? That's the question. Just circle around the table.
I looked at the camera and that was it.
It leapt from one person to the other.
That was it. Okay, think about things that make you sad. That's easy for you to do.
Yes, like Redman murdering these monsters.
No, that's hilarious.
Okay.
I have my 20s.
Alright, 3, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this comparison of one red man to another red man. As we start today's video, we just want to keep you into this to realize that we're doing this because of your suggestion.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
You are all to blame.
This is your fault.
It is. But I should be thanking you because this is something that on the inside I have been screaming internally to want to do for so long.
Okay.
I can't with you too.
Coming back.
I can't with you too.
Come back on that line.
Is my material not silly?
Okay. Yes.
You lost me at screaming.
Ugh.
We've been screaming. We've been
screaming on the inside.
Yes.
To want to get this out, but due to the nature of our channel and the way YouTube algorithms work, it's just something we haven't been able to do. But because one person finally suggested it, I think I finally decided it's okay to do this. And that is the comparison of a red man and another red man.
Yes.
I'm, of course, talking about The Flash versus Superman. That one time he wore a red costume.
Red Sun.
Yeah. No. That costume was blue.
Oh.
It was red in the metaphorical sense because he was working for Russia.
Got it.
Yes.
But long story short is I think Superman's a better character than The Flash, but The Flash also has many good points. Are you okay, Matt?
Fine.
Good. Long story short is
Why'd you have to bring up the Flash?
I don't know.
Why'd you have to bring the Flash?
It's like comedy, man. It's because you lost control of the metaphor.
You lost the metaphor, and you.
No, I had the metaphor.
And my visual
it's called
anger.
Improv, damn
my
it.
visual anger.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
It was all just being silly.
I know, but so was the visual anger.
Now, as we talk about this red character.
Yes, this red character.
And his impact on the ecosystem around him.
Not just the ecosystem around him, I frankly think that's a very narrow-minded and, quite frankly, unwoke way of looking at things, and you should be ashamed of yourself for that.
Oh, shame.
But it's a way of looking through his giant yellow bug eyes at the lens of our entire universe.
Yes.
And I think that's something that we really need to consider. Mm-hmm. For example, we look here at the opening, and you'll notice the avant-garde use of negative space and how everything seems to be so rough and tumble. Mm-hmm. Like the stunt performers don't actually have any kind of control over either what they're seeing or how they can move. Yes. This puts this in stark contrast to the way Godzilla tore his way with a purposeful grimace and a terrible sound as he pulled the spinning high-tension wires down. Da-da-da-darm.
What? Da-da-da-darm.
That's the song.
All right. But yes.
Back.
And you'll notice that when Godzilla did it, it was metaphorical for the path of destruction that was created in the wake of the atomic bomb that America used to win World War II. But when Redman does it, you'll notice that instead, it seems to be more of a statement on the human condition and the insanity. And also in this scene, you'll notice he seems to even foretell the coming of Dark Souls when he praises the sun in his opening, in the opening video. And
I'm glad you noticed that. I'm glad you noticed that.
You noticed it too? Good. Yes. I'm not the only person here who is smart. I love this. I love that we can have such an intelligent conversation
about
avant-garde.
Yes.
It's so avant-garde. Like when Martin Scorsese, who you may know is a very famous film director, he was just nominated for several Oscars.
What?
And he's even won a few, if you can even believe it.
Like twice.
He recently made a statement that Marvel films, we all know how popular those are. Yes. The Marvel films, the MCU, are not real cinema. He's a moron because, well, if it plays in a theater, then of course it's cinema. But I think what he was really missing the point of, for example, if we look at these costumed characters the same way that the rest of the world would view the MCU, he would see the poetry and the motion of it all. The very language of cinema is encapsulated in here far better than in the MCU. For example, when Redman just flipped that monster over in a stunt that looked very unsafe and dangerous in a location that I'm pretty sure they didn't have permission to film in, was just performed, it pales in comparison to the other scene where, coming up in just a few seconds, where this same monster has already been killed, but he blows up his remains just to be safe. And quite frankly, the ending battle of Avengers Endgame is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life compared to this.
Cinematography is gorgeous.
It is. It's just the use of angles. The use of angles, like this shot of Ultraman that starts out as just a... Well, we all know that this is eventually was the prototype for what Ultraman eventually became.
He's correct.
You know this, Marcus, if you pay attention to what I say.
I have to pay attention.
You're just not listening, man.
I'm just not seeing.
Exactly.
You should apologize.
I'm sorry.
You should. Thank you. I accept your apology. But
that is very big of you.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes, I am too.
I am not.
You're fat, though. So I think you could still be lumped into that statement. But
Time out.
You're fat though.
First of all, that actually hurt a little.
sorry. It's a bit. I didn't mean it.
I know. I was really caught off guard. Oh God!
I just love the way you said it. You're fat though.
We made it far that time.
Okay.
For example, this shot of Redman where he is doing the classic Heil Hitler pose, which was of course made famous by Taika Waititi in last year's hit film Thor Ragnarok, when Thor praised the sun, and the sun was represented as the visage of Hitler, played of course by Taika Waititi, who just won an Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film for his work on Redman. Yeah, it's a Gaelic pronunciation. That's how it is pronounced. Yes, it's common misconception. I know it's.
Sorry.
You can cut that whole last bit.
Because you see it like on my face, just my eyes get wide. I was like, oh, we're actually going through with this. Okay.
No.
I give you.
Oh God!
I give you so much praise for the attempt of recovery. That was.
No. That's not something you recover from.
Yes, it was.
I tried, but.
I'm giving you praise for the attempt.
I know.
It's actually
it's Welsh.
It's Welsh. There's some consonants that we just skipped over.
It's not Welsh, actually. It's Gaelic. Gaelic. You should apologize.
Again.
Oh, I do apologize.
I gratefully accept your apology, as should our viewers.
Yes. I will also say, in these next episodes, watching the back of the stuntman's costume just come completely apart shows how we are breaking free of our cocoon of our insecurities and our anger and our negative emotions and emerging into 2020 as positive only vibes.
Marcus, that is just such a brilliant way of looking at things, but it's also completely wrong because I recently uncovered an interview via an anonymous source that what he actually meant by that was that whole scene was merely a metaphor for the oncoming threat that is climate change.
Yes.
You see...
Of course.
This is further extrapolated on episode 12.
It is. The episode where the monster is eating berries, and the monster is humanity, because we humans truly are the greatest monsters. And he's eating these berries as we have consumed everything. Yes, you understand, Matt. Tell me, Matt, I've been talking so much, so don't say anything. Matt?
Talking so much, so don't say anything.
We're almost there.
Matt, we've come so far, but we've got so far to go. But I'd really appreciate it if you keep letting me talk and don't interrupt me, because I'm glad you haven't said anything, because your opinions are usually garbage and our fans.
Because
this entire video is just shitting on me. Apparently,
luckily I'm
you're fat. Your opinions are wrong. Shut up. No, wait, keep going with it. I gotta work with that.
Okay.
Keep going with it.
The best part about this is I can tell where I have to edit.
Oh, isn't
the sound effects of the waiting for him.
Just the waiting for him.
Okay.
I'm not ready yet.
Okay. Take your time. I'm using this as my excuse to come up with some, I'm gonna go you are absolutely right. My apologies. You know what? I will leave this. I will leave you in the audience to this, and I will make my exit.
However, I feel like we still need you here.
No, I can't do it.
Solely because all of this will be directed at you, but not me. Like the consumerism That Redman constantly...
I hope you realize that was a rehearsal. That was not the actual thing.
Oh, I know. But
Matt,
we're going to work back.
Nope. We need to do more of these.
I feel like I'm relieving so much stress.
That's so good.
Okay. All right.
Matt, you and your lovely wife are two people whose opinions I greatly respect.
Well, thank you.
And I haven't heard from you much all show, and I want to keep it that way, but I know our viewers really value your opinions. You're one of the reasons people tune into Tokucast.
It's true.
I personally don't know why that is.
Me either.
But they like you.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad they do, because I don't. So let's take a moment and let's get Matt's thoughts on what we've been discussing so far. I will just stroke my chin and pretend to agree with you.
Well, that's honestly what I've been doing this entire time. Because...
I just have the perfect way to edit that. It's just like when you're about to speak, I just come back to it.
Okay.
You're just going...
That's honestly fair. Okay, ready?
Yeah, okay. I will say, moving on to episode 24, it does get quite interesting as this monster is sleeping. And then Redman comes into the cave like an approaching coronavirus to kill him.
So are you making the statement that Redman predicted the coronavirus?
He did over 40 years ago. I was not sure of it either, but I did look up an audio clip from 5 minutes ago where I also said that it was a coronavirus prediction from 40 years ago.
And that means it must be true.
It's obviously true and factual. You can take it from me, the person who said it. I have a Nobel Peace Prize and absolutely nothing. But it's working for me so far. Basically, thanks. I greatly appreciate it. But moving on to the intricacies of seeing Redman stab it over and over and over again.
You may remember one of your favorite episodes of Kamen Rider Kuga.
Yes.
Where he hunted that monster down that had been killing those teenagers.
Yes.
In the same way.
Wait, my apologies.
In the same way that Jason Voorhees hunts horny teenagers in the woods.
That are simply minding their own business.
Yes, they are minding their own business just like these monsters. And this just in. You guys are never going to believe this. But I managed to get my hands on a cut of an episode that featured just that. If you can believe it.
My pearls are being clutched.
I know. Did you get those pearls on Klarna?
I did. 4 easy payments.
Goodness. Can we talk about Klarna for a minute?
Let's not say we did.
Okay.
So Redman comes into this cave, sees this monster doing absolutely nothing. And instead of choosing to walk away like any normal being would, he decides to go in and leave its carcass on the floor. That is a metaphor for something. I don't know yet.
I think I do.
Oh, I'll let you go first and then contradict you.
I think that's going to be the running joke throughout this one. Every single time you're about to talk, it's cut back.
Okay, so should I just not say anything?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Well, Matt, I disagree. Although I respect your opinion, I disagree. You see, I chose to interpret this as similar to what you were saying, except I would change anti-disestablishmentarianism to frozen yogurt.
Vegetarianism?
Okay. So I think going off of that bit, I think one thing that'd be really great is eventually at the end of your spiel, just say you like something along the lines of, at this point you've been giving so many wrong opinions. I don't even know why you're here, and just cut back to the why I'm gone. I think that'd be hilarious.
So ninja vanish.
Yes, but just like no, don't even like mention that I've disappeared. Just move the fuck on, and just like I don't even know why you're here. I'm just gone.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so continue.
So Matt, I know what you were trying to say about how it's a metaphor for anti-disestablishmentarianism. Now I agree with you, except I would change anti-disestablishmentarianism to frozen yogurt, and I think it just makes all the sense in the world.
It does encapsulate the feeling of lactose intolerance.
Like, it's the kind of metaphor that dumb children will not look up from their phones for in school while the teacher silently prepares their news.
It's what the computer boys and girls want.
It is.
But we can skip on to episode 34.
Exactly.
Where the most integral change in this show happens.
What is that?
There is Redman actually being shown first and is actively being attacked by a monster who encapsulates the feeling of revenge and incomprehensible sadness and the lactose intolerance from the frozen yogurt earlier to enact pain and destruction on this one singular red man. And then he is stabbed.
I've been fighting every urge to make a Trump joke.
I don't know why you just laughed just now, because when you really think about it, I'm not.
You fucking tried, man. You fucking tried.
Was it just me going like this?
I wasn't looking at you. I was like tunnel vision.
Just like Redman.
I know. Just like Redman.
Just like Redman.
Matt, I don't even know why you're here. Did it get quieter all of a sudden?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
I feel like white noise has just been drained out of my life.
Are you saying that because a white man is no longer here?
I was waiting for you guys to say I feel like the IQ of the room just went higher.
But at this point, we can skip to the end of the show.
We should. And that is the end of the show, of course, where Redman is put on trial by the lovely little woodland creatures of the forest.
Yes.
For his crimes against humanity and nature and all of Monsterkin.
Yes, there are many small monster children.
Yes, and who have all been orphaned.
Monster-wise, and in some cases
they all
husbands.
come up to him one by one and look at him with their big eyes just filled with tears.
And then he stabs them.
And as he stabs them, we journey into each one of their subconsciouses, and we see their memories of them playing with their parents or them looking for their parents, and these lovely little adventures that they went in along the way. And
that are literally cut in half, literally in this case.
No, Marcus.
Oh.
They're figuratively cut in half because this show was edited with a chainsaw.
Yes.
And then they're
rough around the edges.
But then they're literally cut in half when Ultraman uses a new
Redman
finisher. I told you before, this was the predecessor. We can't have one without the other, Marcus. It just isn't so. So if you could shut up and stop correcting me and accept that what I'm saying is true and accurate, then maybe we could release a video once in a while. But okay.
My apologies.
I accept your apology with gratefulness and happiness. This is truly the best day of my life.
However, for Redman, it does not end the way that he would have wanted to.
No, it doesn't. Tell the audience about what happens.
Oh, he dies. That's the end of the show.
No. I saw an alternate ending.
You did?
I did.
I must have seen ending B.
I saw ending Z.
Oh.
It actually says Z at the end. As in, this is the end. My only friend, the end. And the end is when Redman is dying, so we think, but then it turns out he was dreaming the whole time. And this was all a nightmare of him working out stress issues because he's been under a lot of pressure at work lately.
And house
having
arrest.
recently been promoted to middle manager.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
But then it's the loveliest thing because we see his 2 dogs come in.
Can we, sorry, instead of the middle manager line, can we do a bit where you say assistant regional manager and then Marcus goes assistant to the regional manager?
You see, it just turns out that Redman is under a lot of stress from his new job as assistant regional manager.
Ah, yes, the assistant to the regional manager.
That's right, I am sorry.
Thank you for your apology.
Of course. I don't really mean it, but you know. I think that the denouement, our final scene we get before the credits roll of his dogs, Lincoln and Ruby, coming into the room and him just petting them as they lick his face with adoration, just as we have done for this whole show in the masterful work of cinema that has been on display before us.
I could not recommend this more. It is quality cinema. Yeah. Martin Scorsese said,
But who cares what he thinks?
No one.
No one. You're absolutely right. I will say this. Criterion Collection, if you're watching, I think that if you can release a Blu-ray box set with brand new transfers of the Showa-era Godzilla films, or of Lone Wolf and Cub, or Martin Scorsese short films that were just announced, or The Irishman was recently announced as well, or even a hack fraud film like Parasite, I think that you should release with a brand new transfer and a Dolby Atmos sound mix. Couldn't have said it better myself.
They're not being picked up.
Oh, okay.
This is what you get when you have kids living next to you.
Can we just record them?
But we can end it here.
I think we can.
Yes, we can end it here. Please go watch Kamen Rider Dragon Knight.
I would also recommend Ninja as well.
Yes, with the Ghost Chaser. Bye.